Greetings, hello there. Welcome to Compost and Causations. I am AkhmostistTheCompostist. Yes, for some reason I am sporting a British accent these days. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but strange because it's actually the Australian Open time. So I should switch to my Australian accent and speak a little bit more like this. Aussie, 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 oi, 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 because it is tennis time. However, we're not on Soul Power Tennis, nor are we on the Compliment Kingdom. We are on Compost and Causations. And so with that being said, we're going to get into today's topic matter. Let me show my face for just a moment. Just a moment. Hello there, everyone. Hello. Now I have a German accent mixed in with the French. Wishing all to be well. All right, I exist. I see you soon. Let's get back to it. Yeah. So, what's happening today is we're going to be continuing onward with doing the research that we need to be doing in order to build the world's first compost video game. Yes. Now, at this moment, not really sure if it's going to be something along the edges of like a stick figure kind of situation, or if it should be something more graphically advanced. We'll see. We shall see. First off, as you come in, as the ticker says, I'm thankful that we're here. Thank you for joining the broadcast. And let's make it long last. And also, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell. And yeah, if you'd like to contribute at all to the cause, that information is also on the screen. So moving onward and getting right into it. Okay, so about 7 days ago, we we started the research on what steps need to be taken to build the compost video game. And what we came upon was, hold on, let me check my sounds real quick. Thank you. Awesome. And what we came upon was inspiration. So anytime you're starting something new, obviously you have the impetus, the thought, whether the thought came in as it was channeled or just popped into your mind, or it's been something that you've been thinking about for quite some time. We also need that inspiration, the inspiration to continue going, the inspiration to take the action steps that need to be taken to make whatever it is, that idea or concept, come into fruition, make it become a lived reality. And so that's where we're at now. So the previous Saturday, today is the 21st, so that would be the 14th. We had to get inspired, or we came upon inspiration, and that was us watching that Compost educational cartoon, and for kids and or by kids, and it was really awesome. So today, January 21st, with the start of the transitioning from the Capricorn sign time to the Aquarian sign time, we're going to we're going to get into it and just ask a simple question. As you can see on my screen now, we're asking the question of what? We're asking the question of what are the first steps towards making a video game? Now, it's not a Google platform, it's not Yahoo, it's not Bing, it's not MSN, it is DuckDuckGo, a better search engine to protect your privacy. Not sure why they have a white duck with a blonde bill and blue eyes, but the Matrix will be the Matrix. So this is a better option, and yeah, so we're gonna move forward now. Back to the point and the matter at hand. What are the first steps towards making a video game? All right, let's get into it. See what comes up. Video game development books. You gotta go on Amazon for that. Let's see what they're talking about. How to make a video game all by yourself, 10 steps, just you and a computer. Actually, this sounds kind of interesting. Learning C plus by developing games with Unity. Interesting. Let's see. Let's click on. Let's see this. Matt Hackett, Valedria.com. How to make a video game all by yourself is a guide for anyone who wants to make their own video game. Read this book to learn how to locate the itch you're eager to scratch. Yeah, I got plenty of itches. How to pick a game engine that will power your vision, how to find the fun in playing your unique game, and much more. Interesting. So this is something that I'm going to have to store or save. I could just read more. Let me see. Filled with advice, personal anecdotes, handmade illustrations, and quotes from renowned game developers, this book is the ultimate resource for creative folks looking to make their own video game. It's a lean, practical guide that gives you the tough love and encouragement you need to ship your game. Let's get started. Yeah, but is this about creating? No steps, just you and the computer. Okay. I'm going to delve into this before I purchase this book. I'm going to delve into it a bit more offline, and see what else awaits me out there. So C plus, that's a programming software. The guide to great video game design. Level up. The ultimate guide to video game writing and design. This sounds like it may be from more so for coders. And I'm not a coder or programmer in that sense as it stands right now in this moment. Unity Game Development Cookbook. What is that about? Essentials for every game. That's an interesting cover. All right. So that gives us some books. What else can we come upon? How to make a video game, 6 steps, 6 steps to develop your game. Masterclass. Ooh, masterclass. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I like this. Um, how to make a video game. 6 steps to develop your game. From big budget AAA games to indie games, the first step in developing any game is to identify a great concept that you want to bring to life. We already know what that concept is. That concept is compost. Um, with enough time and patience, anyone can create their own video game. Learn from the best. Okay. Where are the black people? How to develop a game. Video game development is a multi-step process that requires organization. Let me get this off the screen. What is this? Get it off the screen. Thank you. Um, Video game development is a multi-step process that requires organization, imagination, research, and attention to detail. So, organization. I've organized my thoughts, and I have the key essentials of what the video game is, what it's going to be, the characters, the location, the functions, just the key concepts of what a composter could be doing on site, and all of the things that go into making a functional composting community site, but just putting that into digital form. So those concepts are already on paper. So the organization has been done. It can be tightened up. Imagination, I see it in my mind. It's vivid. It's real already. Now, research is what we're doing right now today. And as we do that, we can kind of extract the key components that we need to get started. Not started because we've already started, but the key components that we need to dive a bit deeper into where we're at with the steps. So attention to detail. Now, I guess that's more so when we're starting to construct it. But right now we're in, I would say, phase 3 of 4. So this is great. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but we're here in research. Carrying on with reading what's on the site. Whether you're a designer with a major game studio or using Unity to create your first game, every game maker follows these stages of development. Now, Unity apparently is some kind of software. Let's see what that is. Why is this still coming up? This is not I made DuckDuckGo my default search engine, so this should no longer be coming up. So Unity software. Okay, Web Unity is so much more than the world's best real-time development platform. Let's see what Unity is. Bring your vision to life. Okay, I've seen Unity before. Not on Earth, but the software. Games. Find out why more than 50% of the world's video games are made with Unity. Whoa, level up, baby, level up. Let's see. With you, from concept to commercialization, bring your vision to life with Unity's industry-leading create solutions and grow a successful business with operate solutions that work with any game engine. Create your game, operate your game. Whoa. Game solutions, build, management, and grow your game, create your game. All right. Small businesses and serious hobbyists get more functionality and training resources to power up their projects. That would probably be me or us at this present moment. Pardon the radiator clinking and clanking in the background. Okay. Atari. Awesome. Okay. So let's go back up. Well, did we go to the bottom? Let's see. Let's go back up and let's go to, pardon the speed of the fingers. Let's go back up and let's look at. Oh, I'm not even. Oops, wasn't sharing the correct screen. So this is what I was reading right here. We're on the Unity.com Solutions Game website. And as you can see, it's going into detail about the components that you need in order to get started. I was circling Atari. That's from the early to mid 80s. For those who know, you know. And so this is what I was reading earlier. Create your game. Let's do that right here. See what it says. Bring your game to life. Choose the world's leading game platform, plus an ecosystem of tools and services to take your game from concept to commercialization. See plans and pricing. Start a 30-day free trial. Create a game with you. Build a mobile game. Okay. Reach more players. Simplify multi-platform development to increase your audience. Indie games. An indie game. Whoa. Like indie films, indie music. Interesting. Harness resources for solo devs and small studios. Innovative game design. Let's see. Games made with Unity. Any genre, style. The Game Changers. Ramen VR. I'm not interested. You know what's interesting?
Some ambitious bets? Well, we decided to build a VR MMO for one thing.
People assume that you need to be this giant 500-person studio with $100 million budget. If you don't have that, then you can't do it. We just set out to prove that that's not true. What makes us different from a regular game studio is that we're a small team, a diverse team, and a remote team. Andy is first and foremost my friend, but he's the CEO and co-founder of Ramen VR. I'm Lauren Frazier, and I'm the CTO and co-founder at Ramen VR.
Now, what's interesting is that this has me thinking if it makes more sense to create a VR experience to start versus creating a video game. Because I think more people would be interested in putting on a headset and having a VR experience composting in contrast to a video game. Because video games, although it's played by, so there's 8+ billion people on the planet, I would say there's at least hundreds of millions of people who play video games. I wouldn't say 1 billion, I would say probably 500 million. So half of a billion people. Let's just be fair and give that. So that's half of a billion people who play video games. I'd say maybe a quarter of them, so that's 125 million, are serious gamers, meaning who play it almost all day, every day. And maybe a quarter of that, now we're getting into what, 35, 40%, maybe more like 30, 33%, something like that. Maybe trying to be professionals, meaning like they're perfecting their craft. They're using it to be on platforms to make money. They're competing against people from all over the world. And, it's competitive. Maybe that number is too high. So, but the point that I'm getting at is that there's a large market. There's a large demographic for video games. However, it's still fairly niche. Like I'm someone who I'm not around. Nobody in my immediate family plays video games at the present moment. I'm talking about brothers and sisters, mother and father, I say. Now, nieces and nephews, I may have one nephew who plays video games, maybe one or two. But I think that they're more outdoorsy. So they get more enjoyment playing out, sports or going to hike or something like that, versus staying at home and playing a video game. So with that being said, like video games are still a niche to most people in America, most people in the world. It's a big niche. However, I think VR, which is also a niche, um, it's a newer frontier. Now, obviously, VR has been around for 20, 25, plus years in popular media. Going back to VR Troopers, in the mid to late '90s, which was like the college version to um, Power Rangers. Power Rangers were like high school kids, and then VR Troopers were like young adults who were in college, but you know saving the world of the sort. And so my DJ name in college was actually, but anyway, not going to get into that. So VR seems to be the newer wave where you can kind of like put on a headset and kind of be in the game. There's high tech games that make you feel like you have on a headset, but to actually put on a headset and kind of like be, yeah, it's just, you get it. You get it. So I think VR may be a better experience overall because it allows you to feel like you're outside, like you're on the site, not that you're pressing a controller. You're kind of just moving your hands or grabbing certain modules to, that may emulate a shovel, a rake, a pitchfork, a wheelbarrow, a broom, shaking a volunteer's hand. So that may be the wave. That may be the way to go. But let's get back to the video fair use because we're doing some research for research purposes here. This is the Game Changers Ramen VR Unity. Let's continue. Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that for now. But I think we're off. We're on to a good start for sure. Okay. I wasn't even sharing my tab. Apologies about that. I'm getting better, you all. So just different groups that are creating video games. That was great to see a diverse group. You had you know, the black women, the Caucasians, the Asians, um, men and women. So that was pretty cool. Now going back, okay, let's see. Let's go back to the 6 steps. All right, here we go. Um, Pick a concept. Generate a few game concepts to see what kind of game you want to make. If this is your first time making a game, start small. Explore different genres and subgenres. See what is currently popular in media or what used to be. Then write down any video game ideas that come to mind. After the initial brainstorm is complete, think about the potential features or mechanics of the games on your list. Whittle down the ideas until you find one that you think has the best potential. Learn how to develop video game concepts in our complete guide. So we already have the concept. The concept is composting. Simple, straightforward, we get it, correct? So that's the concept. The concept is composting, which has us in a good place instead of, my passion is more in the idea, the applied concept versus the love for video games. So the idea and the concept is already complete, but let us continue. Gather information. Step 2, gather information. Game creation involves extensive research. Yes, it does. And we are in the beginning stages of that, ladies and gentlemen. Research the type of game you are building and create a game design document, GDD. Even if it's a simple game, the GDD is a brief for the entire project and outlines all the major details like game mechanics, genre, world building, story, and marketing strategy. Your GDD should answer any questions a potential audience might have about the game, from high level concept down to the minute of aesthetic choices in visual and audio design. As the game designer, you'll need to decide which game programming language you will use, how big your development team will need to be, and the various resources you will need. This is very, very key. So, as I was listening and watching the, what is their name? The Unity group. Yeah, the Unity group, the Game Changers Ramen VR. Ramen. Interesting. Um, as I was listening and watching them, it came to mind to be like, hey, it'd be nice to go to them and present this compost video game idea. Now, obviously, if I do that, they could create the game. But two things, I would have to pay them for that. And I'm sure it would be a good amount, as they would be just due to receive that. And then the second thing is I would have to explain so much to them that they would have the questions for me that I would have to answer, which would be a part of this GDD, which is the game design document. So it makes more sense for me to, whether I present it to a group such as them or whether I create it myself, I have to create a game design document so that I can springboard and not just have it be an idea or concept. This is part of the what was it earlier? The research. This is part of the organization that we read about earlier. Here it is, right here. Video game development is a multi-step process that requires organization. So this is going back, and obviously you're going to jump back and forth between imagination, research, organization, attention to detail. You're going to be bouncing around. So this is us going back to organization so that we can move forward with the other steps. So this is our next extensive step, which is creating the GDD. So this is awesome. This is awesome. So reading further, let's see. Where did we leave off at? Pardon me. It is winter and the radiator is awakening. Whether it works or not, that's another question, another story. Okay. Your GGD should answer any questions a potential audience might have about the game, from high-level concept down to the minute miniature of aesthetic choices and visual and audio design. As a game designer, you'll need to decide which game programming language you will use, meaning which software, how big your development team will need to be, and the various resources you will need. So, me just doing it is not going to be enough. I have to either attain the skills and, essentially attain a new skill set and have this be a new career, even as a hobbyist. Or I have to put the right people around me who are skilled in certain areas, from a coder to a software developer, to people who are gamers, to be inspired, to be informed. So it's going to take a team. Right now, I'm envisioning that team being you listening and you watching. So we all have all of what we need at the tip of our fingers. It's just a matter of us kind of like awakening, opening our third eye and being like, oh yeah, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Yeah, can you hook up a meeting with us? Sure. Or give me the contact information? Sure. So it's possible. So these are the beginning stages, and let's move onward. Step 3, start building. Now that you have done your research, you can begin to develop the framework of your game. You need to select the best programming language and game engine for your concept. For small mobile games, you will not need the same advanced technology required for more hardware-dependent games. During this stage of development, you can also begin scripting code for your game. Game developers with a sizable budget often hire a team of programmers to script code to save time. See? Even those who are game developers, they know to designate certain tasks to specialists, instead of them trying to do every single thing all by themselves. It just makes the process, it makes it uh, arduous. It makes the process longer, more stressful. Instead of knowing the team that you select around you and knowing who's strong at what, and knowing that everybody has their specific tasks and just putting people to task with the key thing in mind, the key concept in mind. So this is very, 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 very true and very, very cool. Um, you know, and so it says, okay, for small mobile games. So do we want this game to be something that is for mobile phones? Do we want it to be VR? Do we want it to be something that you connect to your TV? Laptop based. So a mobile phone is different than hardware dependent games, and that's like Xbox, PlayStation, things of that sort that you got to hook up to something, to your TV, so on and so forth. So okay, moving onward. We're getting it. Makes sense. All right. We're halfway through the 6 steps. Number 4, refine your concept. Prototypes can help you find discrepancies and other issues early on in the design process. So this goes back to right here. This goes back to attention to detail. Okay. So number 4, resolving these issues as they arise is important because they can negatively impact the user experience. Make sure your game has all of the necessary facets: the setting, the quests, the level design, the characters, and sound effects. This is very, very key. The setting, we know where that's at. It's going to start at Red Hook composting site, world famous. So it's going to be outdoors. And it can be outdoors in different, parts of the country, different parts of the world with different terrain. Obviously, it would be different seasons if you're a trained professional outdoor composter. So that's the setting, the quests, or the cues in terms of when we hear quests, I think that's like the selection. So let's just double confirm that the quests. Let me share this instead. The quests in video game design. What is that? What is a quest in video games? Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. A quest or mission is a task in the video games that a player-controlled character, party, or group of characters may complete in order to gain a reward. Quests are most commonly seen in role-playing games and massively multiplayer online games. Okay, so it's a task that you have to complete. Okay, got you. Simple. So very similar to what it is I touched on in terms of being able to make a selection to do something. So on the composting site, a task that you have to do would be able to get ready to get to work. So as you come onto the composting site, what's the first thing that you do? Whoever is in charge of greeting volunteers, what do? They greet them, they welcome them, bring them on over, allow them to, greet them with a smile, say, welcome, have them hang up their coat, put their book bag up, get the appropriate gear on. If they need a rain jacket because it's raining, or if they want gloves, they can put on some gloves. If they need a hat, just make water. All these things are very, very key. If it's cold outside, the appropriate coats, all of that, and then make sure that they have the right equipment and the tools. So, what's their shovel preference? Do they want a wide face, more narrow face? looking at their body size and being able to, gauge what may work best for them and monitoring them. So that's a task, or it could be a task of build the windrow, build the mound. Okay, that's a quest. The level design, like how should it look? What components should be there? The characters, I already know who the characters are. There's 3 in particular. The main goal, Akmos and Xander. That's right, you heard it first. And the sound effects, whoosh, that shovel just scraping the pavement. Whoosh. If you are building a role-playing game, RPG, make sure you can track the logic of the storyline and that the character motivates and that the character motivations make sense. If you are creating a platformer or an adventure game, make sure your world is immersive and explorable. Absolutely. So composting would be more. I mean, it's both, because to compost is to there's a storyline while you're composting. Is it to make the world a more sustainable place? Is it because you're a scientist and you want to observe what's going on in the pile? Is it because you just want to get outdoors and get a form of therapy and connect with others? Like, what is it? Or it can be a platform or adventure. Composting is an adventure if you're on a site composting with hand tools. But we'll lean and say it's more of the adventure based. And yeah, immersive it is, and explorable it is, because it engages all of the 5 senses, and you're engaging other humans, and you're getting fit, working yourself out, and all of that. So for sure that applies. So continuing onward. All right, step 5, test your game. Whether you do the testing yourself or outsource the task to quality assurance QA testers, every game must be tested thoroughly before it is released. QA testers test gameplay from a technical standpoint. The QA team will play through a title multiple times, writing up detailed bug reports and taking note of any crashes. This is a lengthy but necessary process, as gamers are less likely to play a title riddled with glitches or errors, even if it's free. This is true. It's like if you go on to a YouTube channel and you're trying to watch somebody's, YouTube broadcast or show, it can look great, but if the title seems weird, or if it's misspelled or grammatically incorrect, you're like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how could you have all these great graphics and visuals and have it sounding good, but you're not able to spell the title correctly, or in your description of what it is you're talking about in your content, there's plenty of words that are misspelled, things are out of place grammatically. Like, nah, I'm okay. This person doesn't really know what they're doing, or they don't have the right people. It's not a complete product to keep your attention. It kind of like forces you or nudges you to like judge and then tap out. Or if you have the grammatics are correct, the visuals are great, but the sound quality is off. No. The sound quality is great, grammatics are there, but the visuals are off. Like, it needs to be complete. It needs to be good visuals. It needs to have great sound quality. It needs to have the title, in place. So I fully get that. So quality assurance is key. All right, final step of how to create a video game, where we are how to make a video game. 6 steps to develop your game. So we're on step 6 of how to develop your game. Here we go. Market the finished product. Toward the end of your game's development process, you should begin marketing it on as many relevant platforms as possible. Create a website for the game and use social media to advertise it. Include a playable demo on the site that gets players excited for the full game. When the game is ready for release, offer discounted copies or a free version. Upload it to game or app stores. Try to get it into as many people's hands as possible. So pretty much diversify your bonds. Different people are going to tap in different ways. So, meet one of your new instructors. Nice. Learn more, get the masterclass. Okay. Is he talking about game development though? Cool. So we went through the 6 steps on how to develop your video game. All right. Awesome stuff, people. So I think we're going to leave it at that for now. And yeah, this is exciting material. I think that we learned a lot today together. I think that before you tune into this broadcast, even if you love to play video games, I guarantee that you learned something new today. Let me actually do this. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Let's do this. I guarantee that you learned something new today. And you know you did. So with that being said, this is a process. This is a communal journey. Again, if you know someone's who can contribute to any of these skills in any of the 6 steps that we just went through, I recommend that you send them my way. My YouTube page and channel has my contact information, my email, my social media is AkhmostistTheCompostist. So you can also leave a comment in the chat, or you can leave it in the messaging. So plenty of ways to let me know. So let's do this together. And again, I want to thank you all for joining this masterclass, but being in the student seat. So I'm excited. This is awesome. I learned a lot today. Wishfully you did too. And wishfully you got some entertainment from it as well. And until next time, keep creating. For sure. This has been Compost and Causations with Akhmostis the Compostist. Until next time, peace.